First, greeting of the new year here to everyone who's taken the time from your schedule today to join us. This is the first time that we're offering this particular type of session, which is something we think we want to do at the start of each and every year as we go forward. Just to spend the next hour with you to give you multiple updates, to talk a lot about the association, share some additional information with you folks in terms of what we have planned, as you'll see as we kind of move through the session today with a lot of the slides that have information on it as well. We're going to talk around a lot of those. We have multiple folks that have joined us here today for this session as well, be it some of our members of the executive management team. We've also asked many of the chairs or the co-chairs of our various committees to join us as well. So as we get started here, just a couple of housekeeping things. As always, we keep all of the attendees off camera and on mute, but we do have the chat function button is available to you down at the bottom. So please, at any time during the updates here that we give you over the next hour, if you have questions or you have a comment or follow-up, please post it down into the chat. And then as we get to the end of the session here, we'll certainly go back, look at anything that's in there and respond and try to provide you with the information that you need. This session, as with all of the webinars that we do each and every month, will be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So we'll talk a little bit about that more in detail. Lauren, our longtime admin here at the association, is going to be spending some time when we get to M, the letter M for marketing and communications, to tell you a little bit more about that as well. But we have a lot of content on our YouTube channel, which we encourage folks to go out. And again, anyone from your companies can go and view the information and go back and view this particular session as well. It usually takes us a few days to a week before we get it posted out there. So we go back and take a look at the overall content, make any edits that are necessary, and then Lauren posts it available for viewing. So with that, we're just going to jump right in. I'm going to do the intro here, get us started. I may come in and out of the session, but our President Sherry Eccles will be the primary person kind of walking through as we continue to advance, as we go through the slides here and share information with you. So Lauren, next slide. The other thing I wanted to kind of kick off here and let you guys know about as well is, the makeup of our association. So we are now entering year 12, which, is still very young for some of these state associations. We are friends as well with the folks down in Texas, which is now celebrating, I think they're coming up on their 150th year of existence. California, which has had a full association for over 100 years. So from the contextual part of it, we're still very young, still growing, still an opportunity to really make an impact with this association. And that's the key to what we've done here. When this was started a little over 12 years ago, that was the idea that we would have, a cohesive group of individuals that stretch out from Buffalo all the way down to the tip of Long Island. And we've done that now with all of our regional associations, which we'll talk a little bit about later as well, and give you some information on each of those. So we've come a long way in this short period of time. We know we've got a lot more growth ahead of us. Part of that is growing our revenue, which comes from you folks as our members, and growing membership and growing sponsorship, something we're always looking to do, and always looking for you folks to take any opportunity that you would like as well to be sponsors of any of our events, to be sponsor of our advocacy conference, our annual convention in September that we're going to talk about later. So there's always going to be opportunity for you to become more involved, to share your voice, to share your knowledge, work together with us. And that's very, very important as we continue to go forward and grow this association. So what we wanted to do here is just give you kind of a little snapshot, because we have out on our website, if you go into the website and the top header and you click and you want to see, what's involved with membership, you can scroll down on that particular page and you'll see the grouping and the list of all of our members alphabetically, but you don't typically see them in categories. So we thought it would be good to start out just to let everybody know the makeup of our association as we continue to grow. And as you look at it from top down, right, banks, credit unions, IMBs are independent mortgage banking companies, which include our large members, Rocket, Loan Depot, Freedom Mortgage, down to even the smaller IMBs that operate in some of our locations here in New York. So our lender membership is 40%, and then the balance of our membership, 60%, as you see there, is made up of what we simply classify as non-members. So a non-lender member, a lot of them are law firms, as you see, 27% of our members are law firms that work and represent a lot of different clients of ours and members of ours, trying to navigate all of the legislation that comes forth in the state of New York. Again, one of the primary reasons why we created this association, to have a single source and a funnel for all of that legislative activity. So not a surprise to see, and we grow that opportunity as well. We'd love to see more law firms join our association and be part of either our legislative committee or our loan servicing committees. And then the balance are what we simply classify as other third party, certainly appraisal firms, various title companies, appraisal management companies. So we like the fact that we've got a very diverse group of membership. We represent every phase of a residential mortgage transaction. And again, opportunity for all of you to grow with this association as well. So just wanted to kind of set the stage, to reset where we are, who we are, why we're here, and the value that we continue to try to increase and improve for all of you as members, and the reason that you are a member of the New York Mortgage Bankers Association. Next slide, please. So what we're typically going to do here, as we said with the title, it's from A to Z, but we are changing just this first slide and starting with the end with Z for Zoom webinars, because again, that's one of the most important things that we've done and we've established on a very consistent basis. So we're going to have folks jump in here and talk a little bit more about these as well. But just as a reminder, each and every month, you're going to see promotions that come from us that Lauren creates, that we send out and blast email. We also send those through our LinkedIn channel as well as our primary source of social media. So every month, the first week of the month, it can be a different day. Sometimes it's Tuesday or Wednesday, like today is Wednesday. We will have what we simply call a general industry topic. I'm going to have Liz talk about that in a minute. Then at the third Friday of every month, this is the longest running webinar that we've had here on a consistent basis, where Sherry and Brian are co-chairs of our Affordable Committee. They put on an Affordable Friday webinar. They'll talk about that here in a minute. And then we'll have Jackie Goralczyk, who created our 10 on Tech, which is very, very timely, perfect, especially with all of the attention, all the nonstop information that we all receive now related to AI, which is all part of tech. So Jackie will talk about that a little bit as well. So I'm going to stop there, have our folks jump in, starting with Z. Then after this slide, we'll then go back to the beginning of the alphabet and start walking you through some other letters. So with that, Liz or Bill, please jump in.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, Joe. As Joe mentioned, I'm Elizabeth Shaney. I am co-chair of New York MBA's Education Committee alongside my co-chair, Bill Kennedy. And we're responsible for selecting, overseeing, and delivering our monthly general webinar sessions. Our goal is to provide relevant, timely education that reflects the full mortgage cycle from origination all the way through to servicing, and also address the challenges and opportunities our industry faces as a whole. In 2025, we've been very fortunate, just as a recap of last year's webinars, we've been very fortunate to have a strong lineup of speakers and topics, including Joel Kahn with the National NYMBA, who provided us with an economic outlook for 2025. Ron Bamber provided us with a motivational sales session. And we also had a rehab-focused webinar, No Inventory, No Problem. And we also paired up with the National NYMBA again with another general session on how to obtain your CMB designation. Looking ahead into this year, February 20th, my birthday, we have a general session that's going to focus on the rise of mortgage fraud and what it means to our industry. We're also going to welcome Bill Bodner of Tabrasa, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a driving force behind Mortgage Market Guide, and he's going to provide us with market insight as we move forward into 2026. I'd also, at this point, like to extend an open invitation to anybody who may be interested in joining the Education Committee. We truly believe that we will benefit from diverse perspectives and also peer involvement. I'd also encourage all members to share feedback and suggestions for webinar topics that you think may value you as an organization and our industry as a whole. And also your input, I just wanted you to know, helps ensure that our programming stays relevant, practical, and impactful. So we do ask that you share all that information with us and feel free to reach out.
Great. Thank you, Elizabeth. Brian, you want to speak next on Affordable Friday?
Well, of course. Absolutely. So Affordable Friday series, a lot of you have seen that. You've participated. We've been cooking this up for a while. As Joe said, that was, or I think Liz or Joe said, it was one of the first webinar series that the NYMBA had put forth. So what is it, right? If you haven't seen it, it's an educational platform and series. We're dedicated to affordable housing content. We hold that at noon on the third Friday of every month. Actually, the first one we did was October 19th, 2022. So I'm not a calculus major, but that's well over 30 different sessions that we've put on. So topics, what do we do? What do we talk about? We've had topics about renovation, CRA renovation in particular. We've talked about VA lending. We've had speakers, high-level speakers on multiple occasions from Freddie Mac, from Fannie Mae, from Sunny Mae, USDA. We've had the Land Bank. We've had a roundtable with nonprofit housing associations from around the state to talk about hot topics and provide updates from their respective locations. We've talked about reverse mortgages. And recently we had the CEO of Habitat for Humanity to discuss the latest and greatest in that area too. A lot of good things happening with Habitat, which we're hopeful to partner with in 2026. So a lot of other stuff going on. We'll get into that in a little bit, but we're super grateful for the support with the NYMBA to be able to provide this content for you. We try to keep it relevant, interesting. We're always looking for topics and speakers to bring on and schedule out the next number of events. So please don't hold back or be hesitant to share your thoughts and ideas with us. We'd love to hear from you. And obviously, this is part of the Affordable Housing Committee that we have. We'll talk about that a little bit later, too.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. And then Jackie, please tell everybody about 10 on Tech and where we're heading here in 2026.
Hey, Joe, thanks so much. I'm Jackie Gorozik, head of the technology or chair of the technology committee. And as Joe said, we formulated 10 on Tech last year to bring insight into technology, emerging technology, AI, cybersecurity, kind of all the things that keep us up at night and provide guidance and support for those emerging topics. So last year we had quite a few exciting visitors. We had Deb Snyder, who talked about tabletop exercises. We had Pondurance, who was here to talk about compliance and risk. Violet Sullivan, who jumped on to talk about vendor risk. Alex Brettschneider, who talked about cyber insurance. And then we had a great vendor showcase, which everybody really enjoyed. It's a good opportunity to get all of our vendors on to talk about what their product is, what they offer, in kind of a quick, 10 to 15 minute spot where you don't have to commit, hours to learning about a new product, but it can potentially pique your interest where you can dive in a little bit further. This year, we're excited for the lineup as well. We have one of our partner cyber brokers coming in to talk about what you should look for in your cyber insurance policy to make sure you're covered in the event of an incident. We're going to talk about threat intelligence. We have friends at Booz Allen Hamilton coming to talk about what's going on in the cyber world, what we should be thinking about from a threat intelligence perspective. We have a what would you do tabletop exercise where we're going to get hopefully some crowd involvement to talk about first instincts, what would you do if you had some sort of incident? And then we're going to do a regulatory compliance update and probably finish off the year with another vendor showcase so that we can get those vendors out and we can review their products and think about what we want to do in 2027. So that's what we're looking at for the 10 on Tech portion. Excited to join everybody and hope you guys can join. And if you have any suggestions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know what you'd like to hear about from a technology, AI, and cyber perspective.
No, perfect, Jackie. Thank you. And, let us know about, individual presenters, right, that can come on and join us as well, not just necessarily topics, which we're always searching for, because we, like you and your company, we try to stay abreast. We want to make sure we're presenting information that's relative, that's going to help you with your business model as you continue to work and grow in your own company. So absolutely, on any of these three basic topics that you've heard here, any suggestions are always going to be welcome for either topics or speakers. And then companies as well, as part of our sponsorships that we talk about, at certain levels of the sponsorships, you have the ability to present a webinar in regards to your company as well and promote your company's product. So that's something that you and I can speak about as well. So if anybody's interested in that and those options, please reach out to me directly at any time. Send me an email or give me a call, and we'll talk through those opportunities. But thank you, Jackie, for the bringing us the 10 on Tech and branding this and staying ahead of the industry.
No problem.
Great. Let's go to the next slide then, Lauren. So back to the beginning of the alphabet and where we are as we start a new year, right? This is really the core mission of the New York MBA and pretty much any statewide association, and also the national MBA. It's the advocacy component. It's working with legislators. It's working with legislation. It's helping us get a seat at the table early on with legislators as they're creating and thinking about or putting ideas together for a bill and why we need a bill. And let's get the input from someone else in the mortgage banking space. That's where we're really trying to continue to grow the opportunity that we have. You'll hear more about that when we have Burgundy, who's on here as well, and she's going to be talking about the lobby component of this and also the lobbying component of our association. But for advocacy, we've got that upcoming. I'm going to have Sherry jump back in here, and anyone else, guys, if you want to talk about advocacy and let everybody know what to expect this year.
I think it looks like we might have lost Sherry.
Oh, that's not good. All right, Burgundy, well, I appreciate you being on, and you and I can certainly cover this information, but as folks can see, and we have already started to promote this. So it is coming up in March. We're always in downtown Albany. This one's going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday of that particular week. We do the half-day session on Tuesday, and a part of that is we're going to be talking, obviously, about the packets that you see there in that picture with the group that went up there 2 years ago. We have packets available for every group that's going to then go on Wednesday, and we schedule visits with your local legislators. Burgundy and her team at Brown Weinrob put those together for us. So we've got a short breakfast in the morning on Wednesday. We then send everybody up to the Hill. You're going to have anywhere from 4 to 6 different meetings that are going to be set up for you. And you just kind of move throughout the state capitol, throughout the legislative office buildings. We always choose one of the individuals, like that group of 5 that you see there. We have one that's the captain that leads everybody around that day, maybe the lead presenter when you hand over one of the packets to the legislator that you're going to meet with, or with their legislative policy director or their chief of staff. Sometimes it's all 3, sometimes it's one of those 3. But the key component here is we take this opportunity not only as the association, but you as an individual and you as a member and you as a person that lives in the state of New York. You have the right to meet with your legislators, talk to them. Here's why we either oppose legislation that you may be a sponsor of or someone else in the assembly is a sponsor of, but here's also why we support and why we need your support to help move this legislation along, just as we accomplished last year with the manufactured housing titling bill, which was a 14-year journey for this association and others prior to us starting this association. So it's a really, really great time. Again, it's only a half day on Tuesday, most of the day on Wednesday. You get to spend a lot of time in the Capitol, in the legislative office buildings, really seeing and understanding what goes into legislation and how we can be part of the influence, which is great, and being in front of these individuals and letting them hear from us, because each of us are the subject matter experts when we present the bills that we support or oppose. So Burgundy, you want to add a little bit more color on that as well in terms of what you guys do?
Yeah, I would add a few things. Last year, we were able to get a huge number of meetings, which I think was really great for the teams. We really try to make it worth it for you, especially if you're traveling into Albany. We want to make sure you're getting as many meetings as you can. And if you're new to advocacy, or you generally maybe feel uncomfortable about this kind of work, I just want to say Advocacy Day is a great way to come in and meet your representatives, and it's very low stakes because we do it in teams. People that might feel more comfortable talking can take the lead in the meetings, and if you only want to weigh in perhaps on one issue, not only is that okay, I think it's great if we can, people can chime in when they feel comfortable. So it's a low stakes way to get involved. So I'd love to see more of you at Advocacy Day. We had a huge group last year, and I think it's a fun day and an exciting day. And we as a team try to support everyone in the association. We tend to do webinars leading up to Advocacy Day so you can learn about the issues, learn about talking points. We have the schedule so you know exactly which room you're going to and what time you're there. So we make it as easy for the group as possible.
Excellent. So again, folks, you'll start to see more and more of the blast emails and the LinkedIn posts that will come from Lauren in regards to registering for advocacy. If you've never been, as we said, we encourage you to come. Don't be nervous. We have plenty of individuals that are going to be there that will help work all of this through, get you around, make sure that you're part of a team and you enjoy the experience, because we've found that this is just really invaluable. We've made so many good relationships with the various type of legislators that are focused on what we do. So we definitely focus on the individuals that are involved in the committees or the chairs of the committees relative to banking, relative to finance, relative to mortgage financing, loan servicing. So we're paying attention to all of those particular legislators and trying to develop those relationships so that we can be at the table and be part of the process, as opposed to just coming in too late and not really being able to do something that's important to our industry, especially if we're in opposition of a particular bill. Did Sherry, is she able to come back on or not yet?
Not yet, but we did get a comment from someone who says, agreed, you don't need to be a seasoned vet to be there, and it's amazing how much I learned. Great event. So thank you for sharing that.
Good. Yeah, please, folks. Again, we're at the nicest hotel right in downtown Albany. It's called the Renaissance Hotel. If you know the state capitol at all, it's one block. You walk out of the hotel, you walk up a block, you walk right into the state capitol, you walk right into the legislative office buildings. It's so perfect. It's so convenient. And then again, on that first night, on the Tuesday night, we host what we call our legislator reception, where we invite all of the legislators that have anything to do with the policy, and especially with the committees that I was just talking about that impact our industry. And we had 20 plus last year that joined us. So they come, they have a cocktail, they'll have some food. It gives us the opportunity in more of a social setting where we can have conversations with them, thank them for what they've been doing, get in their ear a little bit about, hey, what about this particular bill? Here's what we think, could be improved. Can we suggest some amendments to it before it gets to the floor? So there's all those different components that come into play here that we try to make sure that we've got the opportunity to talk to them about. So really happy about that. All right, that's A for advocacy. Let's go to the next one. B, right? B is for board members. And again, we encourage you when you get a chance, if you haven't go to our website. Also on there, we've got a lot of information about the board. We have all of our pictures here. This is just the top group of our executive committee, which is always comprised of at least 5 individuals. 6, we have Rich now that's joined us not only as a board member and a director, but Rich also as a consultant to us on the executive board as well with some of the decisions that we make. So one of the key things here that I just wanted to mention is, every year in September when we have our convention, that's when we graduate our class. The individuals that have come on and joined us as board members, that may be either their first year of a 3-year commitment, their second year, or their third year, and they may be going off at the end of September. So what we do is each year we're always looking for 1, 2, sometimes maybe 3 board members that are leaving their terms and taking a little bit of a break before they consider about coming back or maybe rejoining the board in the future, because that can be done as well. So the bottom line here is we're always looking for you as members. If you're interested, taking that next step, come on board, let us know that you're interested, and then we can have a conversation with you as we get into the year. Typically around July or August is when we start looking and recruiting for members to fill any vacancies. And then also each year with our executive board, they rotate through. So treasurer then moves up to, apologize about that. We move through secretary, treasurer, vice president, president, and then past president. So the individuals that make the commitment that want to be on the executive board, you can make those steps each year and move through and have deeper involvement in our association as well, and working directly with me and the others. So that's the key here. We always have opportunity. If you're interested, please reach out to me and we'll have some conversations as we get into later in the year when we know what we're going to need in terms of new replacements for board members, and then always looking for the next one to come up and step in and join the executive board and move through those chairs as well. Next. C is for committees and chairs, right? So you see the names and the contacts of each of the folks that we have there. So what we're going to do here again is just give you some quick highlights of each of these committees, should you have an interest in joining one of them. So we'll start right at the top. Brian, I don't know if it's you that's going to jump back in here again. I know we talked about Affordable Friday, but you do a little bit more than just that particular webinar. So give folks a little bit more detail there, and then we'll just keep going down the list.
Excellent. Thank you, Joe. So the Affordable Housing and Community Lending Committee, we meet the first Friday of each month. The Affordable Friday is on the 3rd. So those are the 2 main events that we have, the meeting, and then actually it's been a little bit more active. We've got some things that are in the works for 2026. Excited to share with you, and I'll do that in a little bit. But so the purpose and first principles of the committee. The purpose is to develop the committee to position the New York Mortgage Bankers Association as an industry resource in affordable housing, education, awareness, and advocacy. We are always trying to facilitate the engagement with housing stakeholders and nonprofit affordable housing agencies that strive to promote affordable housing, housing security, and community development services to ensure that we sustain a healthy real estate ecosystem. So really it boils down to that health of the whole ecosystem and how can we contribute, make it better. So first principles, again, we collaborate with housing resource agencies and industry stakeholders. Industry stakeholders, think about that. That's the people that are offering product for us. It transcends just how it's not like we just work with housing agencies, it's the whole thing. So we support local housing agencies and home affordability initiatives statewide, and we pursue service opportunities. One example of a service opportunity is the work that we've done with Habitat for Humanity. It wasn't last year, but the year before, we had a wonderful statewide Habitat Build Day partnership between the New York Mortgage Bankers Association and Habitat for Humanity. It worked out very well. So we're always looking for those service opportunities and how we can support them. We are looking to educate our membership on product, service, and best practices in the affordable housing space. We identify systemic challenges to affordable housing and foster, again, that healthy real estate ecosystem. That dovetails into our advocacy work that we do in partnership with our advocacy and legislative committee. Legislative committee. So we also evaluate and promote available down payment assistance and grant fund options that represent functional resources for home buyers in low to moderate income census tracts. So that, that last bullet point there, we're gonna expand on that in 2026. It's going to be a grant 2026, essentially. So forward looking, we talked about Affordable Friday. We're looking to build on the success and momentum of Affordable Friday and our legislative advocacy work. And we're in the process of planning out another statewide Habitat for Humanity Build Day, which is going to be great. I think, if memory serves me correct, that'll be late September, early October, if we can get that put together. We're also rolling out an affordability roadshow for 2026. So what is an affordability roadshow? So it's the concept right now, which we're well on our way to implementing, is an inspirational, educational, in-person seminar for lenders, real estate professionals, and community real estate ecosystem stakeholders. The inspiration for this really was I have to give her credit. It's Lisa Atkins with Arrow Bank. She has done 3 of these with her employer in the capital region, and they've sold out every single time. I think 100, and that, what does that mean? That means like 120 people, space is fully occupied, can't hold any more, sold out. It's been very well received. And her vision is that it's not placed properly within any one bank or company or whatnot. This educational piece that's been done really belongs in the hands of the New York Mortgage Bankers Association and the regional associations to deploy and roll that out to the in a consumable way. So the content's focused on the successful incorporation of homebuyer grant assistance programs with a whole pile of technical training. What's going to be covered in these seminars? As far as homebuyer grants, we're going to talk about availability, access, the application process, the qualification process. We're going to be talking about mortgage program and grant pairing with grant layering strategies. We're going to talk about best practice of process flow, timing, and execution. We're really excited about reframing the purchase offers with grant funding as a very strong competitive offer, which they are, and overcoming the seller and real estate or realtor objections to those. You don't want those offers with grants to be on the skip through those. It's got a grant. That perception is completely wrong. We're going to show you why. So in the room, in these events, these seminars, who's going to be there? And I want you to think networking and building out your Rolodex. And this is the model that we have in place. Your local nonprofit housing agencies will be represented in the room. And as many as possible, representation from the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, HCR, Sunny Mae, USDA, possibly Home HQ, depending on the location, just to name a few. So we're going to have those resources available, housing agencies included. Seasoned MLOs will be there as presenters, offering their deep and practical knowledge on grant integration. Grant knowledgeable real estate attorneys will be presenting, and we'll have local real estate agents and local trade organizations that we're partnering with to put these things on. It's aimed to provide you, I guess the best way to say it is with the connections, right? Connections. If you're doing these grant programs and grant options, integrating them with loan programs, you want to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody or email somebody. You'll have, in your local area, you'll have all the resources available to make a connection with, so you know who to get in touch with, so that these grants work well. It does the industry a disservice if they don't work well. So we're overcoming that. We're launching this in March of 2026. We're going to start in the capital region. We're partnering with WCR, the Women's Council of Realtors, and our regional NYMBA to launch this. More to come. We'll keep you updated. And we're expanding this statewide with a scalable, refined model and a workflow to duplicate this around New York State. And I'm very optimistic about this. So is everybody on the committee. We've put a lot of effort and work into it thus far. Things are coming together. And we'll see if it launches in New York. Well, this really could be of benefit as far as continuing education credit. That is on the table also. We don't have it right now, but the application process is, we're kicking that off soon. We've had contact with the Department of Education to get that rolling. And why not? This is a really good topic. And it's going to benefit the industry and the ecosystem. So that's all I have to say on that. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Brian, thank you. Appreciate it very, very much. We're going to just kind of jump over marketing and convention because we do have slides upcoming on those. So you're going to hear about those in a little bit more detail. Back to you, Elizabeth, or even Bill, if you wanted to have any other comments or additional information in regards to your education committee.
One thing I'd like to share is that we pretty much oversee, both Bill and I, the Affordable Committee, and we work in conjunction with Affordable as well as with Jackie on 10 on Tech to ensure that we have a nice healthy mix of different webinars that we present every single month. As a group, we try to meet every other Friday at 11:30 to discuss topics, ideas. We maintain an Excel spreadsheet. So we have everything, all of our ducks in a row. When I first joined the committee, it was funny because we didn't have any like structure with the, getting bios. It's because behind the scenes stuff that we do is probably more than you might think. We try to obtain bios of all of our presenters. We always do the introductions for our presenters as well. So there's a lot of coordinating going on when you're trying to obtain all that information from moving pieces to get these webinars put together. But both Bill and I seem to get it done along with Joe, of course, and Lauren's help as always.
Excellent. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Sure.
Did Sherry jump back on yet or no?
I'm back.
There you go. All right. You want to take over legislative?
Sure. So the legislative committee is focused on determining what the legislative priorities of the organization are going to be for the legislative session. And we work with Brown Weinraub, who's our lobbyist, the best in New York State. And we'll be talking more about them in a little bit. But we are always open to input and feedback from different members in terms of what your priorities are. There are a couple of bills coming up this year that we have some concerns about, one of which would allow borrowers to opt out of using automated underwriting and require a 5-day waiting period after disclosure before automated underwriting could be run. And, so we not only do we track these bills, come up with talking points, we educate the industry members, we do New York NYMBA alerts to ask for calls to action. If we need you to contact your legislators, we try to educate as best we can. We oversee the advocacy conference, which I'm assuming we already talked about. And so that's the work. We meet the third Thursday of every month. It's a really active committee, wonderful, wonderful people. So even if you're not sure that you want to get involved, it's a good group to network with. And it's always good to learn what's going on, what our strategies are. And in addition to the bills that we have concerns about, we're also always looking for strong housing forward and supply side policies that we can be supportive of, and are even open to drafting our own legislation in certain cases if we don't see bills that we can support. So, we are just getting kicked off with the new session, and we will, really get into gear once we see the bills that are being introduced in the governor's budget and start working through those things. So I urge everybody to get involved. This is one of the biggest services that the association provides because, the association can advocate on behalf of all members as opposed to any one particular lender or any specific individuals needing to put their names out in support or opposition of specific bills. And, some of these bills have the capability to have a tremendous impact, either to the good or to the bad on our industry. And so, if we don't speak up about it, then we are going to wind up with less than ideal outcomes. And I'll just close by saying at our last conference, Assemblymember Fidel came and spoke. And one of the things that he said, and in fact, the main through line of his entire presentation was that these legislators are being given bills on every topic imaginable, and it's impossible for them to know the nuances or the potential unintended consequences or alternative options to accomplish the same goal that are less restrictive. And so they're counting on us to go educate them. He was adamant that nobody wants to pass a bad bill, but if they aren't told what the issues are, what the negative impacts will be, then they're going to go ahead and vote on sometimes a bad bill or vote against something that would be really beneficial. So, we as industry professionals need to protect and safeguard the industry by educating people. So we'll do that on your behalf, but also we'll educate you so that you can do your own advocacy as well. And so I will go ahead and turn it over to loan servicing. I think I saw Adela.
Yeah, and if Adela's not available to speak, Jody, I know we have you on
great.
here. Certainly talk to us about loan servicing and then pivot into membership, and we'll bring Marcel on as well.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you very much. I was looking for Adela too, but I think maybe she had to drop. So yeah, loan servicing. We started the loan servicing committee for the New York MBA in 2018. Really, this was an idea, a strong suggestion, I'll say, from Jim Bopp and Chip Nolan, just because there was so much going on in New York that was impacting servicing, and we wanted a little bit more focus on it. So like the legislative, we focus on all the legislation that's coming through. We review it, all legislation impacting servicing, and with a heavy focus on default servicing. So we review all that, and we get together and decide if it's acceptable, if we need amendments, and we will write letters of memorandum to either support, oppose, or amend. Lots of times we'll get on calls with the specific legislators that might be supporting that legislation, just so we can better understand like why, and also help try to help them understand our position as well. So anyways, this is obviously very important, because if we were not monitoring this and advocating so fiercely, there would be a lot worse stuff in loan servicing, and of course legislative, that impacts New York and all of our members. So we meet on the third Friday of every month. We occasionally come up with, I'll say, special projects that we want to work on. So we might create task force and create little subgroups of our loan servicing. But we really, we have a very collaborative group. It's made up of servicers, attorneys, other types of vendors, and really everybody comes in and we talk about the legislation. We roll up our sleeves and we get to work, and we work very closely with Burgundy from Brown Weinraub. So anyways, if you're in servicing and you have any issues, concerns, or you just want to get more involved, we welcome you with open arms. So just reach out. You can let Joe know, me know, Adela, or Chip Nolan, the two chairs of loan servicing. So thanks, Joe. I think that covered it. I'll hand it back to you.
Just stay right on, because we're going to have you keep talking with Marcel here. You are our #1 recruiter of new companies and members coming in, Jody. We can't thank you enough, not only for your role as president and past president and the board service, but you are just great in terms of trying to make people understand the membership value and getting them to join. So just talk a minute about membership, and Marcel can join in.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and you kind of nailed it, right? It's the value that we bring, our advocacy efforts, and all that we're doing to help, I'll say, protect, educate, and create awareness for, all the legislation that's going on in New York. So it's critical. If you're servicing or doing business in New York, I mean, I really feel it's really important that you should be a part of the New York MBA. You should roll up your sleeves. You should get involved, help us, help you. So that is really, maybe that's why I'm like your #1 person to bring in new members, because I just feel it's so incredibly valuable. And again, if you're doing business in New York, I think you would want to be involved with the New York MBA. So I'll hand it over to Marcel. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. I just wanted to Joe's point. I'm going to share a brief Jody story. I was at NBA. Jody had organized these uh, tables at a session to talk about a bunch of different urgent issues at the local level, and one of the tables was state associations. And Jody said, Marcel, could you speak about, what's going on at the state association level in terms of our impact on legislation? So I prepared and I gave a spiel, and I thought I did pretty good. And when I was done, Jody said, and don't forget, you need to join your associations.
Exactly.
um, so membership is I can't say it's the most glamorous job, but it is an essential job. And the membership committee is obviously has a big responsibility to drive the growth of the New York MBA. And as you've seen from all of the other committee work, the legislative work we're doing, the webinar work we're doing, the New York MBA provides a tremendous amount of value for the industry in New York. New York is a bellwether state. It's one of the largest economies in the United States, and unfortunately has legislators and regulators who are making it difficult for the industry to be effective and serve our borrowers and our constituents. So funding that is very important. We have added members over the past year. We have 2 applications now in the queue, but I cannot emphasize enough that membership is the most important, frankly, for everything we do. It's the foundation for everything we do, membership and sponsorships. So if we bug you, if you're an existing member about a sponsorship, please give us the benefit of the doubt because it's important. And if you're not currently a member and we bug you, it's all about the love of what New York MBA does for the industry in New York.
Excellent. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you, Jody. Appreciate that. Let's keep rolling here. Mr. Bopp, one of our founding members of this association. Jim continues to be a big part of everything that we do here, also nationally with the National MBA team as well. Jim, you want to talk just a couple quick minutes here on PAC?
Sure. And thanks for the introduction, Joe. For some reason, you won't let me go. I don't know what it is about that. But, glad to be back in the fight here as PAC chair. The Political Action Committee is basically revolves around having a bank account to put contributions in it so that we can financially support candidates who are friends of the association or favorable to the association or favorable or key or instrumental to the issues and policies that we're trying to support, defend, or promote. So last year we had a goal. It's funny, I was looking back through my notes. We wanted to get to $24,000 in the account in 24. We didn't hit that, but this year or in 2025, we did get to total dollars in the PAC account up to $25,000 in 25. I'm going really aggressive this year. I'd like to see us get 26,000 in new money this year, not just total balance, because this is an election year. So I'm throwing that goal out here today. It's pretty aggressive. If we fall short, we fall short, but generally we don't. We have a pretty good track record. So what do we do with these contributions when they get in here? We are constantly approached by candidates to show up at both in Albany, New York events and sometime in district events. And I was going to make the comment about the Advocacy Day, and I'll make it with the PAC committee as well. There's a saying out there in the MBA world, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. So our ability to get to these events and to show up with sponsorship checks or otherwise support the candidate in different ways is very important. In fact, right now we have an invitation that the PAC committee is approved. So just so everyone knows how it works, we get approached with a request from a candidate or through our lobbying firm, Brown Weinrob, and says this candidate's having this going on. Do we want to go? And if we do, how do we want to support it? So we will be supporting, for an example, Assembly Banks Chair Clyde Vanell this coming Monday at an event in Albany. These sponsorship levels go somewhere between 500, at least for this one, and 3,000. Some of these candidate events can be as high as 10,000, probably higher than that, unbeknownst to me. So we need to have money in the tank so that when we get these requests, we can be at the table, so we're not at the menu per se. I will say to you, the other thing we're looking to do in 2026 is I would like to see, because it is an election year, like to see the regional and local MBAs, Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, Albany, Poughkeepsie, down on Long Island with the SMBA. I think the Political Action Committee could do some things because it's not all just about direct candidate contributions. It can be other promotion and protection of the industry. If you live in Albany, you see a lot of different trade associations take out billboards on the side of the highway when the legislators are in town. There's things that we could be doing outside of just direct candidate contributions and support, but basically that's kind of how it operates. The other thing I'll say about the local, regional chapters that are part of the group and their ability to also help generate PAC contributions. A lot of times we don't know where the assembly chair of the banks or the Senate chair of banks and other important committees is going to reside, or where different candidates reside that are on important committees or sponsoring legislation that's favorable to us. A good example of this is Clyde Vanell, happens to be the current chair, but we had Pam Hunter out of Syracuse and Rochester at one point, and a little bit back in the day, the early days, Ken Zabrowski was the Assembly Bank Chair. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's now with the law firm of Brown and Weinrob, but happens to be our lobbyist, which is a wonderful thing. He's from another district. So these in-district lobbying events and out-of-district lobbying events are very important, just as in Albany, support of candidates at events is important. And also, if a local or regional MBA has a candidate that has a request, we can also fulfill that request. And a lot of these assembly chairs and senate chairs, Clyde Vanell has been very helpful to us, has come to our conference as Pam Hunter used to do, and they are speakers at our events. So clearly they're trying to be partners, they're trying to learn our issues, and if we can support them, that's really the purpose of the PAC. I'm not going to get into the different support levels. I believe we have a landing page and link on the website, correct, Joe?
Yes, yeah,
Where people can make PAC contributions.
correct.
And you should also know, because personally I do it this way a lot of times too, we take credit cards for the PAC contributions, and we will bill it monthly or quarterly or however you might want to do it. And then there's different corporate levels and personal levels. And again, we won't get into that. But at Advocacy Day, we will obviously do a little bit more on this and look to raise some money for the PAC while we're there. So that, it's an important part of what the association does. And anything anybody can do to support it. And I will say to support the PAC would be appreciated, and no amount's too little. Some amounts are actually legally too big. So no amount's too little, though. I can tell you that. So you can't exceed the legal limits. It's very important you get this stuff right. As an association, we have some pretty strict reporting requirements when this happens. But just as Sherry was saying, a lot of times the benefit and the value in the organization is being able to support something anonymously through the association. So if you don't want to stick out as a company or you don't want to stick out as an individual, a contribution to your industry's PAC can be a great way to show your support of what we're doing. And that concludes my remarks.
Excellent, Jim. Perfect. Thank you very much for putting a lot of information together in a short period of time. And I know we're coming up close to the top of the hour here, so we'll try to get a few more things in here, folks, as well. We may run a little bit over for those of you that can stay with us. We won't touch anything on technology because Jackie gave you that info earlier. Sherry, in 1 minute, you want to just tell everybody what we're getting ready to launch here, Young Professionals? Oh, did we lose Sherry again?
Sorry, so the Young Professionals Committee is set up to cultivate the existing talent within the industry and help them realize their potential, and then also to recruit new talent, young, diverse, new people into the industry as our industry continues to age. So if you're interested, send me an email and moving right along, Joe.
Thanks. This is an important one as part of our continued growth, folks. So you'll see a lot more about that. We'll do a launch. We'll have some more promos that'll go out. But we want to continue to focus, as you do in your companies, bringing younger professionals into the business and really helping us grow for the future. You want to go to the next slide, please, Lauren? This is what it's all about. L is for lobbyists, right? The great firm of Brown Weinraub, the #1 lobby firm in New York State. I will let Burgundy jump back in here again. Just talk for a minute or two about your company and what you folks do with this, Burgundy.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around, everyone. I know we're sort of getting up to the hour, so I will try to be quick here. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Burgundy Magoon. I am your point of contact here at Brown and Weinraub. First, I just want to say, as an association, you've made a choice to invest in a lobbyist, and we take that really seriously. When you chose to hire us a few years ago, we were extremely excited and grateful that you chose us. And just a little bit about the firm generally. We're coming up this year on 25 years. David Weinraub established the firm in 2001. We're a full-scale government relations firm. And I think what makes us successful that you may not see because I'm your point of contact every day is that we do everything on a team basis. And the group here, we have such an enormous talent of individuals that I can rely on when I'm working with you all. If I run up against anything that I'm unsure of or I don't have the connection, I rely on the team here. So we have people that came from all levels of government. We have connections in the governor's office, the legislature, in agencies, and we have people who have connections on both sides of the aisle. So I think we have a really well-rounded team that we tap into to really be able to successfully represent you. Speaking a little bit to Jim's point about the PAC, every day I'm out at events and I'm connecting with members as your representative as well. So outside of what you all do with the PAC and specific contributions, Brown and Weinraub makes contributions. The lobbyists here are out, and when we have opportunities to connect with these members, we're certainly talking about your issues. So we try to represent you, everywhere we go, not just when we have a specific meeting on the calendar. And I think that's important for you to know. As members of the association, I think Jim and Sherry both mentioned you may not want to weigh in as individuals as individual companies on some of these issues. Maybe you're a large company and you don't want to be at the forefront. Maybe you're a smaller company and you think, I don't have enough weight to carry this statewide issue. I can tell you that associations carry a tremendous amount of weight. I think we get meetings with members, we get in rooms because we're an association. So I think there's a lot of value being part of the association. As your lobbyist, we track over 15,000 bills. They were introduced last year that we review and try to flag for you all. And I certainly rely on the expertise of everyone in the association. You all have a lot of valuable input that helps me and helps us develop strategies as we engage on each of your legislative issues. So I really appreciate working with you all. I think we have a huge legislative agenda in 2026. Today is the first day of session this year, and I think it's going to be a really busy year. So I look forward to seeing you all at advocacy and working with you all throughout the year.
Thank you, Burgundy. I will move on to the next slide. H is for Habitat for Humanity of New York State. Sherry, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, hi. So one of the things we're really proud of is our partnership with Habitat for Humanity. And it has been a good partnership. In the past 2 years ago, we did a statewide build day at 10 different sites where we were able to raise $25,000 and get over 100 volunteers across the state to work at varying habitat spaces. And this year, what we're looking to do is move forward with the Capitol Build Day, which is the Tuesday after Memorial Day. And it's when we Habitat and I build a house at the Capitol in New York, in Albany. So if you can come, we urge you to try to make that event. And we are still looking at other ways that we can volunteer for build days across the state, whether it's a statewide concerted effort or we just put ourselves out to different affiliates that are in need of additional volunteers. And then the other thing that everyone should be aware of is that Sunny May sunset their 2% fixed rate habitat program. So Habitat is actively looking for lending partners that can help fill that void. And obviously they're understanding that 2% fixed rate is likely not going to be a feasible option. But if you are in a position at your company to speak to product development or look at different funding sources to offer financing to Habitat to fill that gap, NBT has stepped up and they've been working on a 4% fixed rate program with Habitat. And I think that there are others as well. So we'd like to continue to support them in every way we can. Their work aligns with the homeownership efforts that we've been working on, since the beginning. So with that, I will turn it back to you, Lauren.
Great, thank you. So mark your calendars for May 26th. And moving on to M is for marketing and communications. So my name is Lauren Wiley. I have been the admin assistant and marketing assistant for the New York NYMBA for the past 3 years. This is kind of my wheelhouse, and I've been doing weekly email blasts, so making sure that all of our members receive information about which webinars are happening when. If you're not subscribed to receive our emails, I will drop the link in the chat. And also it's easy to sign up on our website, www.nymba.org. Our Sherry mentioned earlier, our NYMBA alerts. These are important industry news, alerts about legislative successes, announcements from the governor's office, and alerts from the National MBA that we share. We also share our newsletter every month, which includes a letter from the president, Sherry, important reminders about upcoming events. We also encourage our members to submit content for the newsletter. So if you're interested, just reach out to Jill Culver about that. And we're also currently looking for sponsors for this year's 2026 newsletter. So again, reach out to Jill Culver with all of those questions. And lastly, if you're watching this webinar on a laptop or desktop computer, I invite you now to take a picture of this slide so you can follow us on social media. We are on LinkedIn, NYMBA, and then we're also on YouTube, which is where Joe mentioned that we post all of our webinar recordings. So with that, this is the marketing for the New York NYMBA. And moving along.
Yeah, I'm back on, Lauren. Thanks. No, that's great.
And we had a separate slide for political action committee, but Jim Bopp had to depart. So we're moving to ours for regional associations.
Yes, and Sherry, I don't know if you wanted to jump in here quick as well, just to recognize all of our associations around the state and the importance.
Absolutely. The regionals are critically important because they are the ones that are doing the in-person networking events, giving people a chance to connect. They also provide education events, and a lot of them do different events to fundraise for, housing related or other charities and different things like that. So they really are the bread and butter of the organization. A lot of the people who are on the board of the state association started with participation at the regional level. I, for another week, am the president of NENY. And, I can't say enough about the importance of a strong participation at the local level. And, it's a lot, it's a great opportunity, especially for younger people getting into the industry, to learn more from their peers and to figure out ways that they can grow and develop professionally. So, all of the different associations are listed here. We're extremely thankful that ESMBA joined us this year. Feels like now we are all united as one with all the state associations under one umbrella. So, as we've talked about advocacy, the one thing that's the most important is their strength in numbers. And as Burgundy said, associations carry weight, and the more members and the more voters that are employees of our members, the more weight our association carries. So all of these regionals bring us tremendous strength. And so please take a moment to look up your regional association and show up for an event or join. And I'll turn it back to you, Joe. Thanks.
Great. And I believe we just have one more slide here. Again, thanks folks for hanging in there. And like all the good things, we saved the best for last. Is Mike Henry still on with us? No, it looks like maybe Mike had to jump. But the real key here, guys, is we are going to be moving our convention this year. As you know, any of you that have attended the past 3 years, we've been out at Turning Stone, which has been a wonderful location for us, great partners to work with. But as we're trying to centralize this a little bit more in the state, we took a look this year for the first time at another large casino and resort called Rivers Casino, which is located in Schenectady, New York. And we've booked the dates of Monday, the 21st through the Wednesday, the 23rd. We'll keep the basic format that we've had the past several years as well, meaning we do a truncated 9-hole golf course tournament on Monday afternoon for folks that are interested in coming in and playing golf. We roll into our reception that evening to welcome everybody in between 4 and 6 p.m. and then send folks off to book their own dinners and also network and spend some time with other attendees. We do the full day of sessions all throughout Tuesday, starting at 8:30 in the morning. Various panels, various speakers. We have the incoming, or I should say she's now the official new chair of the National MBA, Christine, who's with M&T Bank, one of their top executives. She will be coming in and joining us as our general session opening speaker on that Tuesday morning, and then we'll cover a lot of other sessions and topics throughout the day. We do the half day again on Wednesday with a focus again on the sales side and do some things focused on loan origination, social media, a lot of different components for folks that are trying to learn more about that space as well. So we just wanted to officially announce, you'll see promotions again as we get a little later into the year. We'll put information on our website, but just to give you the basics, that we are really happy to be able to move to Rivers Casino in Schenectady. It is literally less than 1 mile from the Amtrak train station. For those of you that want to take the train up, do some work on your way up and the way back, it's ideal. Mike just did that coming in from Buffalo when we had the meeting at Rivers. It's just perfect. And it's a shorter distance as well for those that fly in. And again, almost right in the center of the state. Schenectady is only about 15 minutes outside of Albany and Albany International Airport. So a lot more convenient for transportation. And then if you take your own car, you drive up or down the thruway, it's only 6 miles off the New York State Thruway from the Schenectady exit. So we're really happy, really excited about this one. And a lot more to share as we get into the year as well. And that should do it, right, Lauren? Anything that we have left in the, anything that we have left in for Q&A in the chat?
No, I don't see any questions coming through, but we did cover a lot, so.
We did, yes, yeah. And again, thank you, folks, for those of you that are able to stay with us. Follow up, as always, any questions, comments, please reach out to me. Give me a call, text me, my cell phone number. You guys have that. It's on the website. Lauren and I will follow up with you. And we're really, really looking forward to, continuing to grow this industry. We know you're all coming through 3 straight years of challenging environment, higher interest rates, tight volume still. We haven't seen a great change in any of that, but that's not stopping any of us from continuing forward and preparing and working for those days when the volume continues to increase and refis come back, and there'll be a lot more opportunity for all of us out there. So thank you very much on behalf of all of us as presenters, our committee chairs, our executive board. Thank you for taking the time, joining us. Become as involved as you would like, and we'd be happy to continue to work with you and provide the content that you need. Have a great day, everybody.